Hello, Heathens.
Hello, Edens.
Hello, Edens.
Okay, so really quick, I want to say there has been a lapse in an episode. We're on track with where we're supposed to be at because we were going to take some time off in the end of September for my birthday, but we had kind of like it basically we're right where we need to be. So last week we didn't, or the week before last, because this will come out next week. Wow, sorry, time is eluding me. Um, we will have had like a 2 week gap. Um, sorry about it, but also not sorry about it. Life has been lifing.
Life has been lifing.
Life has been lifing. And life decided that we were going back to our original path. So here we are.
Here we are. Heathens.
Hey, that's
We
it's
just
actually,
go with the flow.
yeah, exactly. It's like, you know, we do this for funsies pretty much.
Yeah.
It's like our part-time fun thing, like a hobby essentially. And so then we still try to keep it on a good schedule for ourselves so we're actually like sticking with it too. Because like the amount of learning that we have done in an almost 2 year time span is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, no kidding.
Really cool when you think about it, but like, holy crap, man.
It feeds my soul so much because it gives me meaning and purpose. Like I would never have really given it the time and dedication uh that I do now. Just
100%.
into research and knowledge of the occult and all that.
Yeah, like us doing our zodiac stuff, I feel like I have such a better understanding, like to where I can actually stick with like what's being talked about by astrologers now, where I'm
Yeah.
like, hey, look at me, I kind of understand this. I get what you're
You're like,
talking about.
oh, I know that.
It's like going from reading, I don't know, kids' books to like I'm at high school reading level now.
Yes. Yep. That's exactly how it is.
I'm definitely nowhere near reading a dissertation, but I'm definitely able to read on a high school level.
Yeah, we're not in college yet. We still are in high school, middle
Mhm.
school even.
Maybe
But
even middle school. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, Last week we did Halloween, and today we're doing Abracadabra. And it's two kind of shorter episodes, a little bit late because we're getting into another very big topic that I didn't realize yet again was as big as it is, other than listing it out on paper. So enjoy the light ones because we're going to be having some heavy hitters after.
absolutely, we're going into the dark night.
Yeah, literally.
Those days are getting
Yeah, and the rest of the year gets
good.
spookier and spookier.
That's right.
I like where it's going.
As do I.
So tell the peoples why you wanted to talk about this topic because this was a topic brought up by Nicole that I never even had thought about.
Um, I forgot what I told you. But what I will say is, as I often do, um, we are talking about abracadabra, and mostly because we're talking about words and how we create what we speak
Yeah.
and that
Yeah, and I feel like this was one of those words where it's like I didn't think anything of it, you know?
kind
It's I don't know, magicians use it on stage, at magic shows.
Right. It's almost like it's been downplayed so much that you forget that it was actually something that they used. Uh, in this case, they used to ward off fever and sickness. Mostly is what it started out. And then it's evolved since then, but then it was almost like, when those important things become into fairy tales almost,
Yeah.
is that's where it's actually at. So now it's in cartoons and it's on you know, magic stages and stuff like that. I don't think they use it anymore. I think it's outdated on the magic. I don't, do they use it anymore?
Yeah, I
Have
don't
you
know.
watched anybody on a magic stage?
No, honestly, I was just gonna say that's so funny. I've never been to a magic show like that. Like a not definitely not a big one ever. And all I can think of right now is like Chris Angel, I think his name is. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
does
David
he
Blaine is
use
another one.
they use words? Do they do they say that stuff anymore? I don't even know.
I mean, like Chris Angel is probably one of those people that's a little bit on the edge of like, ooh, like almost ick, but not like just a
Yeah, it's like a breath of it, breath of ick, where it's like,
yeah, like he is a lot. Um, but I mean, whatever. David Blaine, I think, is a little more respected than Chris Angel, but like I don't know much about
oh, and there's the two guys.
a sick fate and Roy
Yes.
with the Tigers.
Mm, do they have tigers? What's the
Oh
guy?
no,
The
you're talking about Penn
shorter.
and Teller.
Yes. I actually very much enjoy them. I love when
They're
they
cool.
explain magic tricks and stuff, but I'm like, did they ever use words like, I don't know, abracadabra and all of that? I wonder.
I mean, if they have, I feel like they probably have, but they're so like cheek and tongue that they could have said it just to be like fun. I don't think they've ever said it like and to be serious about it. Although I don't know if
Mm,
they've had a serious moment in their
yeah.
lives. Well, I know that one of them talks and one of them doesn't.
Yeah, I think it's definitely the tall guy talks and the shorter guy, I don't think I've ever heard him talk ever.
Mm-mm.
It's very interesting how you can do that for so many years. Go them. Dedication.
Dedication. Dedication. Okay, so now I don't know about you, but the research that I studied on this, it was very much like they're not quite sure where it came from, but they're pretty sure that it came from Arabic, Aramaic. Um, Although then I saw something, one of the guys that translates the Bible says that this wouldn't actually have been the word that would actually cause it to be I create as I speak. So one source says that it would have came from like Abracadabra, Abra, it's Avra space Kehdabra. So instead of
Mm,
abracadabra, which abracadabra is spelled Abracadabra. So abracadabra compared to abracadabra. Okay. So this word is supposed to say, I will create as I speak, or I create Aramaic, it would have been I create like the word. So another meaning would be we create worlds as we speak.
mm,
And I like that as well. But then we go back to the Gospel of John in the beginning. In the beginning, there was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things were made through him, and without him, nothing was made that was made. Wizards. So,
wizards.
wizards. Because in true fashion, it's all done in metaphoric speech. But this is what we have learned I think what we have learned in conscious or as a collective is that in the beginning was God, and in that beginning was the word that he spoke words into existence. So he spoke into what he wanted to create.
Mm,
I think how we've translated all of that. And I'm sure I've mangled it, but you know, Heathens. So,
Heathens.
one of the oldest known recordings of Abracadabra dates back to the second century CE. It was mentioned by Severus, not Severus,
Serenus.
Serenus, Sam, what's his word? Sam,
I read it as Serenus Simonicus
yes, Saramus
Roman.
Simonicus, yes, a Roman scholar and a physician. And he was noted to put abracadabra in the classical triangle shape where it starts off with the full word. And as you continue writing it, you take off one letter as you get down to a final A. This was represented to be as each part of the word was taking away in each line, that the sickness or the fever or whatever you're trying to get rid of would eventually disappear.
Yeah, it's like it lost power with every preceding letter, essentially.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Because you got the whole thing, and then you cut off just a little bit, and then it goes down, and then you cut off a little more, and then it goes down. And it was worn around your neck. This was an actual cure for malaria. Uh, it was it was written in a shape of an inverted cone and worn as an amulet. And they've found many of these amulets that people used to wear.
People also were sewing it into their clothes too.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, wow, it's kind of smart. It's like your sick t-shirt.
Right, like this is
Like,
my sick t-shirt.
you put it on when you need to either be protected or you need to cure something.
But I think this would be a really good way to anything that would be plaguing you is a good way to kind of like, as you're writing it out, is to focus your intention on, like, say I wanted to get rid of overeating. Like, I would think about overeating as I would write the word out, and then continue to think about it as I lessened each letter until I had the whole thing, and then either sewed it into my clothes or put it into one of those little like charm, rolled it up and put it in one of those little charm around my neck kind of thing.
Yes. I want to try this because we talk about it a lot. Words and images in our world have power. I mean, the tarot alone is just such a great argument to back this case and the fact that it's been around for freaking centuries, literal
Right,
centuries. And now
right,
we're finding out that this word that most of us thought was just used on stage in magic tricks actually has been around forever, for
right.
forever.
I mean, it had to be there longer than the guy who wrote it down.
Exactly. Because it's like you can't one person accounts it and that's not before there was writing it down there was passing it along through word
Hmm. Hmm.
and I'm like, oh, I really want to work with the word abracadabra and see what comes from it because I just think it would be such a fun science experiment.
I agree. I was thinking the same thing. It's like, hey, I ran a couple of science experiments on this, so let's see.
Yeah.
There was also another account of they had contributed to also being the father, or being a representation of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, which Ab would have been father, Bab Bra would have been son, and then Kadabra would be Ruach, the spirit. I think they said it. I think they said it weird too. I think they said it more like the Avrak had Deborah. But there's part of that too where it actually uh represented all of them, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
And I also read that with that, they would use the word abracadabra in a different way as opposed to healing and more as an invocation of the Holy Trinity,
Yeah.
which I also thought was really cool because you do a lot of invocations when you're doing high magic.
Hmm.
And I was like, huh.
I wonder if I can get to a place where I say, if I'd have to say it like the more, I don't know, correct way to say it
Oh,
than what it's like, the stage way.
yeah.
Because it would be hard because in magic you have to feel not necessarily silly or insecure about it when you say it. So like
Yeah.
it would if I said abracadabra, like
You're like, uh.
uh, and during rituals sometimes I do that. I laugh at myself because I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? It still gets me when I rotate energy and I'm walking around my room in circles.
Yeah.
That gets me every time because I'm like, if anybody could see me right now.
Like, what the? Is she okay?
Not just walking circles in my bedroom.
Literally, it's like a movie scene over here. I'm just pacing my bedroom.
Right, just pace in my bedroom. It's
That's
fine.
fine.
Everything's fine.
That's so funny.
Huh. Which he had um redesigned the word into abracadabra, and the new meaning
Who did? I'm sorry,
within
you cut up. You cut off at the
Al
beginning.
Aleister Crowley,
Oh, okay.
he redid the word to abracadabra
With an H instead,
instead of
like a
a
C.
C. Yeah.
Okay.
And a significant new meaning within his occult system, Thelema. While the word has been used as a charm or incantation in ancient time, Crowley represented it as a powerful symbol to represent the great work of personal spiritual development. In
Hmm.
Thelema, abracadabra is seen as the word of the Aeon of Horus, the new era of human consciousness. It signifies the union of the microcosm, the individual, with the macrocosm, the universe. Crowley believed that by understanding and utilizing the power of his word, individuals could achieve a state of enlightenment and fulfill their true potential. Therefore, while the original meaning of abracadabra may have been more limited, Crowley's interpretation elevated it to a central symbol of his occult philosophy.
Hmm. Interesting.
So with his, because I think I'm not sure because I'm not real familiar about Thelema and I don't know how much Christianity they put into it, but it's almost like if it was invoking them, that invoking Horus is almost the same thing. Because then you have Horus, or wait, you have Isis, Osiris,
There we go.
and Horus, right? Horus is the sun, right?
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
Okay. So that would be the same thing as the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
Hmm.
Um, and the more I research about this and the more, especially getting into the tree of life and the sephiras of the planets that run the universe basically, or divisions of God, basically. All it's interesting to see how all of these religions are basically the same thing.
Yeah.
They just have different clothing.
Yeah, it's also it's like funny how like there's just it's too coincidental to be coincidental.
Right, right.
Because like how do they all kind of like are the same but they're not the same? What do you mean?
Well, it's the fact because you don't think they're the same at first, but like the more if you open yourself up and you study that religion, like say it's Judaism, say you start studying Judaism, getting into like why is this and what does this mean and how do I do this? And then you're like, oh, but like this is a lot like Christianity. I mean, granted, like Christianity came from Judaism, I get that, but like also like you start seeing it in Islamic religion. And then the more abstract version of them is the Western part of the religion where you go into Hinduism and um what is Buddhism? Buddhism?
Buddhism?
Buddhism. That sounded weird. I don't know. Anyway, heathen.
Buddhist?
Buddhistism. If you go into those, like you see it there, but it has taken a different form altogether.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still the same underlying energy.
It is Buddhism.
Oh, okay.
Go, Nicole, go.
I was like
Yeah, buddy.
Buddhism. Buddhism.
You knew what it was, you just didn't know.
I didn't have confidence in myself at all. So that's what I have on Abracadabra. There
Um,
wasn't.
I do have a little bit more.
Oh, good.
I also read that because you know there's like, all these theories behind it, and the only account they really truly have is the one you had told us about in that description, and his like Serenus is like basically his medical diary,
Yeah.
essentially. But I saw another one that another theory said that this magic word is derived from another magic world known as Abraxas, and that word's letters in Greek mythology add up to 365, or for example, the number of days in a year. And it made me think about again, ritual magic. Funny how things go back to that, but I wonder if that word being used 365 days, what it would do for like your own personal ether, I guess, for better lack of words, because that's the only word that's coming to mind.
Oh yeah, because are they saying it says it means the same thing where I create what I speak?
So they're saying that it's derived, they're saying abracadabra is derived from another word known as abraxas. That abraxas, that word's letters in Greek mythology add up to 365,
No, I
which is
get that, but like, what does that mean? Yeah.
that's what it means.
Oh, okay. I'm like, I'm confused. Please help me.
So I was saying like for me trying to like understand like why they're even telling us that because I agree I was like okay it means 365 okay what does that have to do and how is that derived what does that mean I was
Hmm.
trying to make sense of it myself and I was like okay so are they saying that it's derived from this word that means 365 okay does that mean that the abracadabra word has a number meaning as well or are you supposed to use it for 365 days? And that's the not spelled out meaning.
Well, okay, I guess what it does to me, so right now I'm reminded of the fact that we'll use this as an example, is that when Damien wanted to get out of jail, him and Lori did a spell every day for a year. And I'm not sure about this, so I don't want to like say like it happened on the day, like he literally walked off death row on the day of that, but like um it was, I don't know, I know it was close, but because he states in all his books that it took him a year, within 1 year he was out of jail.
Yeah.
So I wondered if that's that.
Abraxas. That's
Right.
Abraxas. 365 days.
So you would practice it 365 days a year, or for it to come to fruition.
Science experiment, kids.
That's right.
So I also have that in the Middle Ages, okay, we have to think medieval people believed in magic as like an everyday fact. It wasn't like a question of whether it was real or not. And when there was like
Hmm.
unusual events that happened that they couldn't explain, it was considered to be the result of some form of enchantment. Okay. So they would repeat this word instead of writing it, they would repeat it in the way you write it, where you take a letter off at the end until
Oh
you're down to
yeah.
A. So you're
Hmm.
basically vibrating it until just the A removed. And they would use it to not only cure diseases, but they would also use it to potentially ward off any wrongdoing sent in their direction. Which,
Yeah, I think I read something about this too, where it was a lot like that, where you would sit and meditate or vibrate that word down to the A.
yeah, and use it as,
Hmm.
which it makes sense because something that can cure like illness, and with each letter dropping off, you are basically weakening the strength of the illness. You're also at the
Absolutely.
same time building up protection as well.
Hmm.
And I was like, huh, that's like, this is where like the whole 365 days and all that stuff is like in my mind. I wonder if you could use it as like how people could use, crystals for protection in a way where it's like instead of using crystals, you could vibrate abracadabra down to the A and see if it does help with protections. Cool.
Well, and yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that you would actually, because we haven't, I don't know if anybody has taken it seriously, but the fact that, not that I'm a big fan of Crowley, but I do believe that he has some wisdom. He has a lot of wisdom actually, because you just don't follow his path of destruction that he did, right? But the amount that he pushed magic, the boundaries that he pushed, I'm very respectful of that, and I thank him for that because I don't think we would have gotten where we are with magic today without, and there were other people obviously that helped. It wasn't just him, but like
Right.
I think he was unafraid and unapologetic of those boundaries being pushed. And he did some really shitty things. He wasn't like the great, but sometimes you need a really shitty person to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think everything in the world has meaning, right? And sometimes
Hmm.
we might not understand it or it might go against what we personally believe in, but
Right. Well, I mean, it goes all the way back to Judas. Like Judas, we needed him to crucify Jesus so that Christianity was born essentially, but like it would have never happened if he would have never did what he did.
the last thing I have about abracadabra is that it is mentioned that it does like the is it the Hebrew way of saying it? The Havada, that one. You had it, you had said it.
It's
Abra, yes.
Abracadabra.
Sounds like Havada Kedavra
It does, yeah.
because J.K. Rowling um adapted a lot of words from Aramaic language, and that was one
Hmm.
of them to use in her books as well as the films. So Havada
Which
Kedavra, which is the killing curse, was adapted from Havra Kedavra.
which it goes back to the um I something about, I remember seeing this when I was researching it. It was something about like I destroy.
Actually, you know what? I might have that up because I had saw that too.
I said, yeah, it was something about like not I create as I destroy or something, but it was something.
Let the thing, the original meaning of these magical words, according to Rowling, was let the thing be destroyed.
Yes,
And it
that's
was
it.
used for curing illnesses.
Right, right,
So she took Havra Cadavra and changed it to Havada Cadavra for the films.
right.
Influential films.
And this is what happens when you do research and you give it to people.
Yeah, because like I would have never freaking known that.
No.
It's freaking Harry Potter. I don't know. That's the killing curse. That's one of the forbidden curses. We just know this.
Yeah, that's what that is. Are we still do we still like J.K. Rowling? Because I know we always go
No.
on and
You know, I'm gonna say my piece. Take what you will. I don't mean to offend. No, I don't like her, but Harry Potter is one of my favorite and always will be one of my most favorite influential things that has ever happened to me ever because especially as a kid, I was not allowed to watch or read Harry Potter when everybody else in my class was reading it for class because it was witchcraft and witchcraft was the devil. And when I was babysitting my brothers and sisters, it would sometimes be on TV and I would sneak watch it. And then we'd be watching it. Me and my two sisters that were old enough to understand. We would be watching it, watching for my mom and stepdad to get home. And then we'd switch it. Harry Potter was cool. So
Harry Potter
cool.
was cool.
A
Is
whole nother
cool.
world. Yeah, still is cool. I love Harry Potter.
Hmm. We
More
should have
than,
a we should have a Harry Potter day.
oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Like PJs and like
Butter beers. We make Harry Potter themed food.
oh my God, yes.
Because, like, more than anything, one of my favorite things to find out from people is if they've taken their Pottermore test and they know what their house is. I always want to know what people's houses are. I not only do I want to know your big three, maybe your big six if you know them, astrology wise, but also I want to know what your Potter house is. What's your Hogwarts
I
house?
at the moment it's slithering.
Every single time I have taken that test, I'm always in Slytherin, and I'm like,
I have been all of them.
have you really?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I thought you would be Gryffindor
I think Gryffindor was the first one.
or Ravenclaw.
Right. But I've been slowly introducing green into my life. Actually, I want to paint my house.
She's changing on us people, and it's kind of fun to watch. Our lady who has worn black forever is changing before our
Oh,
eyes.
I kind of like green now. Although black and green go very well together. So,
They really seriously do, which is nice because then you don't have to like get rid of everything and re-completely start.
yeah, that's what's nice.
Because like that's the worst when you decide you're changing color palettes or you're changing something about your wardrobe and you're like, I now have nothing that I can wear because I refuse to wear any of that peasantry.
I I can't wear that. What are
Those
you
clothes are for the
thinking?
peasants.
Out with you. Emperor's New Clothes.
Um, that's what we have today.
That's what we have today.
Light and easy, quick and easy.
Right.
Um,
No big deal. Use it on a piece of paper. Look it up.
yeah.
See if it works. It'll take you. You don't have to be serious about it. Take a piece of paper like this because I just have 3x5 cards
I
standing
was
around.
gonna say I don't think I have that, but yes, I have paper. Regular paper.
Oh, you want to know something really funny? I also have these fuckers. And just so people, if we needed options. Okay, sometimes a girl needs options.
You have a small, a medium, a large. What do you want?
Which
Nicole
one do
has
you want?
school supplies.
I can't help it. Okay, so if we do this, like say, just make a triangle. Arts and crafts today. Now I gotta cut.
Woo! It's a good looking triangle.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
So write it on there, all the way to the A to be down here. And then I would roll it up like a joint. Well, maybe not like a joint because I would smoke it. No,
Smoke it.
roll it up, make it small as possible, put it in your pocket, put it in your purse. If you have one of those little keychainy things
Oh yeah,
that
put
you
it
can
in
wear around
there.
your neck, put it on put it on your body.
That's a good idea.
And then just wait. Because I have a feeling that either it'll come true or like it'll fall out. Like your locket will open up and it will be done.
Yeah.
And then most
That's
likely I would either bury it or burn it or whatever.
sorry, I was dying.
Bless you, my child.
Woo. Yeah, let's do a science experiment. I'd be curious to see what you guys think. We'll probably ask about it maybe towards the end of the year and see like if anybody's done it and what your thoughts are, because I think that would be really cool to do and then like come back and see like what if anything's changed and if so what.
Yeah, it'd be really nice to kind of like have everybody do their own thing because then you believe in magic too and it can't hurt anything. So
Right. Um, okay, you guys. So we are next moving into a small series that is not small at all. Um, for the end of this month and all of November, we will be speaking, almost all of November, we will be talking about the seven deadly sins. We're gonna go into an intro to kind of give you an idea where these came from and all the different routes we could take with this, and then we'll be going into each sin and talking about them and what they mean and all the things around them.
yes. And this, will take some of the mystique out of it and stuff like that. Go watch Seven with Morgan Freeman and Brad Pitt. You will get to see a young Brad Pitt. Uh, this is a pretty good movie on the whole thing, but it is, um, we'll be taking the mystique out of it. Where like, it's not what, basically the overview that I've looked at so far is it kind of makes me feel like this. They put that out there for people to watch out for it because those particular type of habits lead to you not being um, it doesn't help nurture yourself.
Hmm.
You end up not growing and maturing and evolving. You end up being stuck and alone and um, like just not very, for lack of a better term, healthy.
Yeah.
Again, it goes back to the whole middle path of like,
And how many times are we going to end up saying that throughout this process? A lot. It all goes back to the middle path.
oh my God, on my deathbed, I'm gonna be like, it goes back to the middle path.
Yeah, those interviews of older people. What's one piece of advice you give for the younger generation? It all goes back to the middle path.
Middle path, buddy. Middle path. That's all I got to
Tattoo
tell
it on
you.
our foreheads. Middle path.
Right. It's hard. That pendulum likes to swing.
Yeah, seriously.
This is what happened to my Abracadabra.
You're Haviti Kadibi?
Everything with the pot.
Okay. All right, because I think we will end it there. That was a good one. All right, Holmes, well, we will see you guys in the next episode on the Seven Deadly Sins.
Yeah.
Cool.